Blake just got back from running 380 kilometers across the Simpson Desert, which made him the youngest person to ever do it. But this was not his first time out there. He tried a few years ago, but unfortunately he wasn't able to finish. Probably one of my favorite things about this chat is actually hearing that when Blake got back a couple of years ago from missing the target, he actually went to the gym and ran the remaining missed 177 kilometers on a treadmill. So then 2 years later, he came back to finish this challenge for good. So this is his story. Yeah, so you finished the 117. 117, was it?
177 I still had left to do. Yeah.
How fast did you do that on a treadie? What did you do?
Hurt. The 177 on the treadmill. It's tricky. So when I was out in the Simpson and did the 203, like I was battling with heat, and obviously the conditions of the dunes. There was a fair bit of elevation, so that was challenging, but I reckon the 177 on the treadmill was harder because it's just every single movement was the exact same. And yeah, after I got to about 110 and my bones felt like they were going to break.
Man, that's crazy. So what did you do that over days, or how did you do it?
So I worked that morning from 5:30 till 11. It might have even been later actually. I think I didn't finish work till 1. And then got home, quickly got changed, went to Office Works, and I printed off 3 photos of the Simpson Desert to the gym, and then stuck those 3 photos on the treadmill. And I ran. You're testing my memory now because it was 2 years ago, but I did about 120 or 130K, and then ran through the night, finished at about 5 o'clock in the morning. And by that stage, I then hadn't slept for like over a day. And I'm like, I'll go home, have a little nap. So I went home, slept for maybe 3 or 4 hours, and then went back to the gym and then ran the other 40 or 50K.
Oh man, that is actually mental. That's a challenge within itself.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy. What was going through your head to make you go, I'm going to finish it?
I always knew that I could do it. And then I got back from the desert, and like mentally I was fucked. I spent nearly the first week or 2 just in my room bawling my eyes out. I'm like, fuck, if you think you can do it, go out and prove to yourself you can do it. And there was no flights to Birdsville, and no way for me to get from Birdsville back 177K to then run the last 177K. So I'm like, well, I can't actually physically get to the Simpson to run the 177 I've still got left. And I'm like, how the hell am I going to run 177K? So yeah, went to the gym, jumped on the treadmill, had all my nutrition and everything next to the treadmill, and yeah, ran the 177.
That must have been brutal on its own, man, because running that long on a treadmill would be horrible.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was definitely challenging, and by that stage, I'd been home for maybe 2 or 3 weeks post Simpson. So yeah, the body had a chance to like inflame and get sore and everything from the 200 I'd done a few weeks earlier. So then to then run 177, made it challenging. I think if I'd done the 203 and then straight away ran the 177, definitely would have been easier. But
Dude, that's nuts. That's nuts. You must have been battling some demons in your head to go and then finish the 177. That would have been a crazy 2 weeks for you then.
Yeah, I actually so got home from the Simpson 2 years ago. Was fucked mentally, and I'm like, if you reckon you can do it, prove to yourself you can do it. I went to the gym, ran about 100 meters, and then just burst into tears. I'm like, no, I'm broken. And then, then a few days later, I'm like, fuck, don't let it beat you. You got to finish that shit. And then I went out there and, So I jumped on the treadmill, ran about 100 meters, turned around and come home. And then a couple of days later, I went back to the gym and was like, no, stuff that. And then ran the 177.
How long was it after the treadmill run before you're like, I need to go back to the Simpson Desert?
The moment I finished the moment the run was called off, I was working out how to get back there. But then, as soon as I then ran the 177 that I still had left, at that point I knew that I could have done the run. Like when the run was called off, I knew I had more in the tank, but it could have been 1K, it could have been 10K, it could have been 100K. Like I knew I had more, but I didn't know how much more I had left. And then when I did that 177, it proved that I still had, a lot more left. So at that point, it confirmed what I already thought I knew, that I could do it.
When you finished that run and you've done all this training prep, have you approached the training and the challenge in a different way to make sure you get through it?
Yeah, I definitely, heading into it the first time, because I was never a runner. I did boxing competitively for about 10 years, and my long runs at that time were sort of 4 or 5K. I'd never done really double digits. And come out of hospital in 2020. You're testing my memory now. 2022, and set my eyes on the Simpson. And that was the first run that I really set my eyes on. So I had no real running background, and then I went from that to running back-to-back 80Ks, and my body just was not ready for it, and broke down. I tore both my patella tendons, tore my calf, and had severe bone stress in the femoral neck and a torn hip labrum. So the 12 weeks leading into the Simpson, the first time around, I'd had about 10 weeks off running completely, because of all those injuries. So when I approached it, then this second time, I'm like, all right, let's get the body sorted first. So I spent most of last year just seeing the sports stock, getting the body, I suppose, not injured. Got to December last year and I got the all clear to start running again. And then from December last year to July, I was then training for the Simpson, and my running load was still good, but definitely not as much as it was prior. And I tried to prioritize strength training and recovery a little bit more than I did the first time around as well.
How do you prepare to run on sand like that? Were you actually incorporating sand running into your training, or was it all just road running?
So I was going to the beach every second weekend.
Oh,
So my long runs were always on either a Friday, Saturday, or a Sunday. So I'd finish work, go to the beach, and then run 50K or 60K or yeah.
when you actually were at the Simpsons, it's literally sand the whole way. There's no like concrete, or there's no,
Soft,
I don't know.
the whole way. There's a few dried out salt pans, which they're a little bit harder. But yeah, it's all pretty much soft sand.
Because running on sand would be challenge. Like even when I go do a little run on the beach, my calves are destroyed. So I can't imagine running for close to 400 Ks on just sand.
Yeah, so it's so the run starts at Alka-Seltzer Bore, which is about 20K west of the Simpson. You run from Alka-Seltzer to the Simpson, which that's soft, that's sand. Then you run across the Simpson, and the entirety of the Simpson is sand. You then finish so the last sand dune you climb's Big Red, which is the biggest sand dune, right at the very end. There's then about another 2K of sand, and then the 30 or 40K heading into Birdsville, that's bitumen. But yeah, the entirety of the Simpson sand.
Jesus. Were you nervous coming into doing it the second time? Because I think the first time, at least, you had ignorance of, you're not knowing what's ahead, but this time you know exactly what you were getting yourself into.
No. That's the thing, because I knew that I could do it the first time, and the fact that I'd been out there and I'd made it 203K with my body cooked before I'd even started. I didn't have any experience or any prior running knowledge heading into the first time. I didn't really have much of a support crew. I had one vehicle, and that was it. So it made rotations really difficult. It meant that I wasn't able to run nonstop like I needed to do. So I'd learnt so much from the first time. I knew that I could do it. It was just how long it was going to take.
Did you had more of a crew this time compared to last time?
Yeah, so I had 3 vehicles this time. So
That's good.
Do a little bit of a rotation. So I'd have the lead vehicle that would stop every hour in front of me, and I'd have enough food and water to get through about an hour. Then give the vehicle my empty. They'd give me refuels, and then see them again in an hour. And yeah, did that for 6 to 8 hours, and then they'd rotate. So then the lead vehicle would rest. The second vehicle would then become the lead vehicle, and then just rotating through.
How were the temperature changes from like day to night? What was that like?
Shocking. So when I attempted it the first time and fell short, I got out there, and the first day was 34, 35 degrees, and then of a night it didn't get below 20. So I was heading into it this time around. I'm like, I need to do as much heat training as I can, so when I get out there, like it just comes natural, like the sun's nothing. So I did so much heat training getting ready for it this time. Got out there, the first day was like 28, 29, which was okay, but then it dropped to like -1, -2 degrees. And I'm like, uh-oh. Because I did heaps of heat training, but didn't do much cold exposure. Like I did ice bars and all that sort of stuff, but I suppose with ice baths, you're sitting in the cold, whereas when you're running and it's -1, -2 degrees, you've got to actually move in the cold. And I wasn't prepared for that. So during the days I was fine, and then it would hit nighttime and my pace would drop big time.
Yeah, because when you're at like exhaustion, the cold just hits you differently too. You're probably like jackhammering, and as soon as you stop and everything, you're shaking. Did you get all of that?
Yeah, I was definitely shivering, and I had pants because I was preparing for the heat. I was like, I'll grab as thin a pants as I possibly can. So they weren't doing much to really keep me warm. So I had those, and then just loaded up on hoodies and that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's hard to move when your legs feel like they're frozen.
Yeah, I'll bet. So when you get there, right, like you just rock up at some unknown random point.
Yeah.
It's barren, and then you're just like, yeah, I'm just gonna run. There's no path? Like, how do you actually know where to go?
Yeah, so the run starts on what's called the French line. So it's not a road, but there's a defined track from sort of wheel marks and that sort of thing. So you can see where you're going, and then all the support crew had like a GPS as well, so they could see where they were in regards to where I was meant to be running.
Yeah, okay. All right, that makes sense. Is your internet all good?
It is, yep.
Okay, cool. I'm just making sure because you're crackling for me, but as long as you're all good, I'm all good.
Okay.
So when you started, right?
Yep.
Did you actually physically keep moving the whole time? Did you have naps? Like, how did it actually work?
The plan initially was to have a short nap every 2 hours. So have like a 10-minute nap every 2 hours, and then just repeat that for the entirety of the day. And then the second day, I was then going to increase from 10 minutes to 15, then 15 to 20, so that over the course of the run, it felt like I'd had some rest. But then those 10-minute naps ended up turning into like massaging sore spots or putting anti-inflammatory cream on, or I did something to my ankle at about 120k. So strapping the ankle, switching socks, switching footwear. So the plan was to have a nap every 2 hours, but didn't quite go to plan. I reckon I had probably 2 hours across the 3.5 days.
Oh no, that's brutal,
Yeah,
man.
I got to the last day and I was grumpy.
Oh, you would have been delirious. That's a lot of time. And also having the contrast of the heat, the cold mixed in with no sleep. Like that's a miserable time. What was your head doing through all this? Like how were you suffering? What was it feeling like?
When it was cold and I couldn't move, that was challenging because mentally I'm good. Physically I'm not hurting, but I can't move, and I'm like, I just need to move. And like when I say I can't move, I was moving, but I was not moving anywhere as quick as I needed to be moving. And I was just trying to get some momentum, and I just couldn't get it overnight. So that was not painful, just disappointing.
Was it just the actual cold, like you just legs were freezing or what
Yeah,
was happening?
yeah, yeah. It was literally just that. Like my legs were just that cold. They weren't moving. And then I had gastro leading into the run, which was
Oh,
and so 2 weeks prior to the run, I went for what was meant to be a 10k run. Ended up being 5 because my gut was just played up the whole time. I'm like, nah, this is not going well. That was the Friday. The Saturday, I had a gastro stop and went for a run, and I did 21k and didn't have any issues. And I'm like, perfect, we might be on top of it. And then I got out to the Simpsons, so 2 weeks later, ran the first 50k, didn't have any gut issues as well. And I'm like, perfect, this is good. Got to 50k, and then my gut started playing up from 50k to 300k. And that was challenging. It felt like I copped a hard punch to the gut, like just a sharp pain in the gut, and then was going to the toilet every probably 90 minutes or so.
where do you go to the toilet out there? Is it just dig a sand dune or like how does it work?
Yeah, just off the track, dig a hole and bury it.
Is it like, I mean, because it's so fascinating because for no one would know because not many people have been to the desert. Like I've never been. I have no idea. I just picture like, I don't know, some movie. That's the only thing I got in my head is like a movie.
Definitely looks like a movie scene out there for sure.
It would have been, I'm sure that had some like beautiful elements to it as well, right? Like sunset and stuff. Is it quite picturesque?
Yeah, even overnight, like it was a little bit cloudy on some of the nights, but when it's not cloudy, I think it's nearly the clearest sky in Australia. It's see all the stars. Like you can nearly overnight you can see in front of you even without lights on. I'm like,
Oh, really?
yeah,
That's sick. What was it like managing food and water out there? You just had all three of the cars packed with stuff for the whole trip? I assume that's how you did it. It's not like you can get Uber Eats, so.
yeah. Made sure all the vehicles had enough water for themselves. So each vehicle had about 2 people. One vehicle had one. So making sure they had enough water for themselves, and then whatever water I needed, then divide it by 3, and then plus that onto the vehicles as well.
Man, it would have been a hard thing support crewing that, I reckon, because you're just sitting in a dirty, hot car, just waiting for days. Like did they have a hard time?
I'm not sure. But they would have had aircon and heaters and that sort of stuff. And then the benefit of having three vehicles, they were able to get some rest and some sleep. So yeah, it definitely would have been challenging. But yeah, not to the point of I hate this, I want to go home. Like I think it would, yeah. That they all messaged me afterwards and said thank you for the experience, and yeah, we're very grateful. So I think it was okay, but yeah, I wasn't part of the support crew, so it could have, they just, yeah, didn't want to tell me.
Yeah, I think when you support someone, I was having this chat last time. It's such a sick experience. Like sometimes when you're the one doing the challenge, you feel like you almost feel a bit guilty, but it's sick being on the outside because you get to really actually enjoy where you are and you get to kind of experience it for what it is, where you're just holding on to the ropes trying to stay in the fight.
Yeah, and that was the other thing as well. Like the vehicle was going an hour in front, so they would go an hour in front, and then they've got then 30 minutes or 40 minutes to hang out, relax. Like it wasn't. I'd like to think that it wasn't super stressful. I'm sure there were times where they were like, "Oh shit, like what do we do here?" Um, but I think in general, yeah, it hopefully wasn't too stressful.
So what time did you end up crossing it in?
3 days, 17 hours and 40 minutes.
And what was the original time you wanted?
3 days, 8 hours and 36 minutes.
Oh, it's fuck all in it, isn't it? It's pretty close.
I was in front of the world record until 260k. Um, I was about 2 hours in front of the record, or it might have even been 4 hours in front of the record at 260k. And by that stage, I then only had 120k left, and I was averaging 120k a day. So I'm like, we've got this. I'm like, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but we've got this. And then 260k things started falling apart, and I'm like, oh well. Oh.
Yeah, that's all right. What started falling apart?
So I had um, when I attempted the run previously, I ran in with a Garmin Forerunner 945. This time around, I had an enduro watch, which I knew had better charge than the Forerunner, but I'd never ran with it for that long. So we'd got to about 260k, and I'm like, let's chuck the watch on charge. So this was at one of my 15-minute breaks. I'm like, let's chuck the watch on charge now. Then it'll be good for then the rest of the run. Chuck the watch on charge. Got the watch back. It had reset.
Oh
So
no.
it had pre-saved what I'd already done, but then I got the watch back, and instead of it saying 261k, it was like 100 meters, 200 meters, 300 meters, and that was just like a mental. I'm like, this is cooked. And then
Did you know it saved still? Did you know it saved?
I knew it pre-saved, but I was still trying to work out. I'm like, what? Yeah, what is going on? Because the Forerunner, you can chuck it on charge, and then you could take it straight back off, chuck it on, and it will
Yeah.
read as it did when you chucked it on charge. But this one has an auto save feature. You chuck it on charge, take it off, it'll auto save what you've done, but then it completely resets and you have to start again.
And it just got in your head.
And that was just like I suppose a mental rope. And then it threw me out with my timing as well, because every hour I was refilling my liquids, but then I didn't know when the hour was because the hour was out. So yeah, the watch had restarted, which that was just a mental head fuck, I suppose. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on there. Uh,
Yeah, it's all good.
and then the next K then had so next K then got to a salt pan, which is normally dry. There was water in it, so I had to run a bypass, which no one thought that I'd have to run. Thankfully, it only added like 2 or 3k, but it still was like the watches just reset, and then the next K I've then had to run this bypass, and I'd actually ran more on that second day than anyone thought that I would. So we got to that second day, and I was more in front than anyone thought I would. So the second vehicle, which was meant to be replacing the lead vehicle. They left later, expecting that I'd be closer. So by the time they caught up to me, I hadn't had salt or my food for a few hours. So at that stage, I was then hungry and dehydrated. Eventually, they did catch up to us, and we got to Lake Popal. We knew that at Lake Popal, I was going to have to run around it because there was water at Lake Popal and you couldn't cross it. So we were aware that I was going to have to run around it. And you go up Lake Popal, cut a diagonal, but we missed the diagonal and kept running straight. And then got to a dead end, had to backtrack, which added about 2.5 hours. By that stage, I was either right on the record or I might have been like 5K behind it. And then was running okay during the day. Overnight, pace dropped and I fell a little bit behind. And then we knew there was water at Air Creek and I was going to have to swim across Air Creek, but we didn't know how far it was blocked off, whether it was going to be blocked off for 3K or 16K. So we're like, let's get to Air Creek and we can work out a game plan. Got to Air Creek and we were like, all right, one of the vehicles will go around the other side, meet us at the other. So get to the other side, radio when you get there, then I'll swim across. It took 2.5 hours for the vehicle to get to the other side. So I was then waiting at Air Creek, ready to swim across, but you couldn't see the other side. So we're waiting for comms that they were at the other side to then cross. So then that added 2.5 hours. So then by that stage, I was on the last day and I was about 4 or 4.5 hours behind the world record. And we were like, all right, at this stage, it's starting to get out of reach. Let's just soak it in and enjoy the last day. And then went a little bit slower that last day and thankfully, got it done and become the youngest. But fell short on the fastest.
Oh, yeah, who cares? It's all about, like, you got it done. That's what matters.
Yeah.
100%. So, wait, when you say swim, like, what are we talking here? Like, ankles? Are we talking knees? Like, how high is the water?
Would I have been able to stand? I'm trying to think now. See, I dove into the water. I actually didn't try and stand, but I want to say it was probably maybe 1.6, 1.7 meters.
Oh, shit. So it's like you're proper soaked. Like, how far across was it?
It was about maybe 15. So I had to do 2 crossings. The first one was probably about 15 meters. So swim across 15 meters. Then there's an island, which that was about 2K. So then I had to walk across this island. And then there was another swim at the other side, which might have been, 10 or 20.
Yeah, that's not oh, sorry, just cut out. That's not a nice thing to be doing.
Oh, no, the opposite. So at that stage I hit it. And it was the last day. So I hadn't showered for 3 days and I hit the water and I'm like, oh, this is good. I'm like, do we have to keep running or can we just hang out here? It was,
Oh, I guess if you're in a desert, this giant, shitty swimming pool probably looks all right after a couple days.
It was probably maybe 11 or 12 degrees, so it was cool, but it wasn't freezing. It was a nice little, freshen up.
Yeah, did you like change your gear and stuff when you got out though?
I did, yeah. So the vehicle was on the other side, so I swam across, got soaked, and then grabbed a towel, dried up, and swapped my clothes over.
Did they have to drive through it, or did they go around?
No, so they took a northern bypass. So they had to do a river crossing at the northern bypass, but the water wasn't as deep on that northern side. That's why I was waiting at Air Creek because I had to wait for the vehicle to get to the other side.
Man, it's such a logistical challenge, isn't it? Like crossing the desert, it's not even a run; it's a fucking just a mission.
Yeah, it was adventure, that's for sure.
Yeah, like you probably just no one would understand it, like myself included, until you actually see it. like it's hard to actually fathom what you're probably looking at and going through. Like those photos that you shared, they just look like something out of a movie or something, man. They were crazy. Like
Yeah.
it was insane. And their sand dunes as well. Like they're so decent. Like it's not like there's this
Yeah.
little like
Little hills there. Yeah. They're full. I got, so at the start, they're, I suppose, not too high. Like they start off slow and pretty close together, and then the further you get along, the steeper they get. So yeah, once I was at sort of 140, 150k, I needed trekking poles to get up them.
was it just gassing? Like gassing you trying to go up them?
Not really. If I tried to sprint up them, it would have. Which that's the other thing as well. My energy levels, they just fluctuate. Like I'd be running steady, and then all of a sudden I'd just get an energy peak, and I'm like, all right, here we go, push. And then I'd push hard for like 10, 15k, and then I'd suppose hit a wall and then slow down, and then I'd slow down, go slower, then flatten out, and then I'd get another energy spike and then go hard. So when I had those spikes of energy, I was sprinting up those dunes, and then then when I was sort of just steady, I was using the trekking poles to get up them.
Did your body hold up all right? Like, did you get blisters? Did you have any major issues present?
A big blister on the outside of my left foot, and then blisters under 5 toenails as well. So I've lost 5 toenails. The plan, I knew my foot was going to swell up, but I didn't expect it to swell up as much as it did. So I had a shoe that was sort of 2.5 sizes bigger than my normal foot, but then my foot started swelling beyond that. I'm like, well, this is the biggest I've got. So then, my foot got compressed and lost a couple of toenails.
Jesus, 2.5 sizes is pretty decent. I've heard that as well, that people will go like 3-4 sizes up, but I never realized that it was actually so bad.
Yeah, I had a 13.5, and I reckon I probably needed a 15.
Fuck, 13.5 is pretty big in general. How big are your feet normally?
Depends on the shoe, but yeah, normally in 12 or 11.
Oh, I guess you're pretty tall. How tall are you? Like 6'1" or something?
Just under 6'2", 187.
Yeah. That's pretty tall. Did you get like heat stroke or anything? Cramps? Like you're in a bloody fucking desert.
No, the hottest, I got heat stroke the first time around. But this time the hottest it got was probably 28 or 29. So yeah, I was fine with the heat. And I did all that heat training in preparation for it to be hot. So I was, beyond prepared for the heat. But yeah, the cold got me, unfortunately.
What was it like getting to the end? Like, I don't even know, is there like a certain point where it's very obvious, or is it just, you just know?
So I said this to someone yesterday or the day before. I'm like, there was about 3 ends along the run. The first end was we crossed Air Creek, and at that stage, it was then I'd been running for 3 days, and everyone was like, "We're gonna finish this shit today." So that was, I suppose, the first end. We're like, "Yep, we've done this. We're finishing today. Like, this is over." And then the second end was when I went up Big Red. So that was then the last sand dune. So that was, I suppose, the second end. And then the third end was then when I got to Berzia, which was the end of the run.
When you get there, is it a town or what is it?
Yeah. So it's a town. So I finished it at Birdsville Pub, had a finishing banner, and was grateful enough. I had dad and stepmom up there to cheer me on when I finished, all the support crew, and then there was a few locals from Birdsville and a few travellers as well that were there cheering me on.
Is there much happening at the pub there, or what's it look like?
It was on that night, that's for sure. It was on that
night. Did you guys stay there that night?
Yeah, so I finished at about 10 o'clock or just after 10 o'clock, and I'd promised the boys I'd have a beer with them when I finished. So I had a beer at the pub, which took me about 2 hours to get down, and then, yeah, slept not.
And then what? You just got back in the car the next day, drove home?
The next day and began the drive home, which it took about 3 days to get home.
Man, that's mental. Like coming from where you are as well, like where we both are really, but driving 3.5 days just to do it, then doing 3.5 days, then coming back 3.5 days. Like it's a decent nudge.
Yeah. We crossed nearly every state in Australia, bar Tassie and WA, in about 6 days.
How do you feel about finishing? Like, are you feeling, because obviously the first time you had all this disappointment and you wanted to come back, do you feel fulfilled?
Yeah. So I first time around got home, mentally was cooked. I didn't have much energy more than I had about enough energy to get through 2 hours, and that was it. So I would wake up of a morning, go to work. I'd be good for about 2 hours. I'd have, whether it was a coffee or amino energy or pre-workout or something, to then get through another 2 or 3 hours. I'd do that. That would then be nearly the end of my shift. I'd have another one. Shift would be done. I'd go home and sleep. Like I could get through about 2 or 3 hours at a time, and that was it. Even when I was catching up with mates, I'd go and catch up with a mate, be fine for 2 hours, and then I'd just hit a wall. And like, I feel sorry for anyone that hung out with me the last 2 years, because I would have been the worst person to hang out with, because like I would be positive and chirpy for an hour or two, and then I just could not stay awake, and my mood would just plummet. And yeah, it was horrible. And I got out there to the Simpson this time around. We got to that third day, and I had a toolkit. It was called the mental toolkit. I said to the support crew, when it gets tough, pull something out of here. And when I'm running or when I'm training, I never listen to music. And I did the whole Simpson without any music, but I had songs where I'm like, if it gets hard, like, play this song and it'll get me through. And it got to that last day and we hadn't listened to any of the songs. And then someone from my support crew, one of my mates, was like, do you want me to chuck on the playlist? So I'm like, oh, you can if you want. He started playing that playlist. And this was the last day after we all knew that I was finishing that day. And then every song, I reckon I was bawling my eyes out for about 2.5, 3 hours. I don't know. Yeah, I reckon I cried more than I sweated the entire and then, yeah, we got to the top of Big Red and I felt about 15 kilos lighter.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Got home, and that was the thing. I got home and I went from having no energy or energy for like 2 or 3 hours. I got home and I had all this energy, but then like my ankle was inflamed. I couldn't really walk very well. I'm like, I've got all this energy and I can't do anything. Whereas, yeah, now the body's started to recover and I'm feeling good.
It's good, man. It's a cool story. Like being able to go. There's not many people that would have gone back and finished it. There's no way. There's a lot of people who would say they would, and they'd be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go do it. I'm gonna go do it in a couple years."
Yeah.
But to actually basically got back and you were a man on a mission to get it done again. It's amazing.
It was always a non-negotiable though. Like the last 2 years, I knew what they look like. I'm like, I'm not going through another 2 of those. I had to get out there and get it done.
Now that you've done it, you just feel like that's it. I don't want to do this any more challenges, or how do you feel about it?
So mentally, so when I set my eyes on the Simpson initially, I was not in a good headplace. I just come out of hospital after attempting suicide, and I'm like, I just need something to work towards, a reason to wake up each morning. So I set my eyes on the Simpson, had been working towards that for 2 years, gave it a crack, fell short, and then trained another 2 years, gave it a crack, thankfully got it done. Um, and I'm in a lot better headplace now than I was back then. So it's not like I need to work towards something um, because of that, but I would, yeah, I would like to work towards something. Um,
Yeah.
I think it's important, um, regardless of what it is, to have something to work towards. So I've definitely got goals and things that I'm working towards. I don't have any big deserts I'm planning on crossing in the next year or two, but I've definitely got goals that I'm working towards, and I've got little challenges and things like that that I'd like to tick off in the next couple of years.
It's good, man. You sound like you're feel very fulfilled, which I like. It's nice hearing because you know a lot of the time when people come back from challenges like you experienced probably 2 years ago, is it almost creates more of a void than it fills, and it's
Yeah,
definitely I've definitely had that myself where I finish a challenge and I'm like, whoa, I've got nothing now. Like, what am I supposed to do? And it just takes a while to kind of that energy goal come down. But you don't. You seem like you're good, which is
I
good.
I think that um, I suppose that's the other thing as well is I guess perspective. Um, People, I suppose, train towards these goals and these massive things, and it consumes their life for 3 or 4 years. They do it, and then they don't have that goal or that thing to work towards. So they're like, "Fuck, I've got nothing."
Mm,
But then, see, when I fell short, I'm like, "Man, I have nothing." So then to have done it now, I'm not comparing it to the fact that I've got nothing to work towards. I'm comparing it to the fact, like I'm comparing myself to where I was 2 years ago, and I'm like, man, back then I had nothing. I'm like, now I've done exactly what I said I was going to. Like, I come back from that run, and I was looking myself in the mirror, and I'm like, fuck, I don't know who the fuck I'm looking at anymore, because I got back and I was broken, and now I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, motherfucker, you did exactly what you said you were going to do. You said you were going to run across that desert and you ran across that desert. Like I look at myself now and I'm like, I don't need, I don't need things because I know exactly who I am. But when I looked in myself in the mirror 2 years ago, I didn't know what I was looking at.
that's sick, man. That's a well, it's like a comeback story, isn't it? Like it's a
Yeah.
massive 180. Oh, you just cut out again. Fucking internet. Oh, that's nuts. What a crazy thing to do, man. Like to how so what's that like 3 years worth of chasing that goal, isn't it?
August, yeah, August 4 years ago.
Fuck, 4 years.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, man. It's very proud of yourself. Like to be able to go like where you were at as well. Like just even training for a challenge like that when you're feeling good mentally is hard. Like I think having what you were going through after like what you're saying with attempting suicide, then doing that, and then like that's hard on fucking on its own. Like, let alone trying to cross the Simpson Desert.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Everyone always says that though, and they're like, "Why this? Why the Simpson? Why not something easier? Or why not? Why not any?" And I'm like, "It was just the first thing I read. Like, I all I needed was something. At that stage, I didn't really have anything I could rely on. I'm like, I just need something, and read about the Simpson. Like, that's it. So I like I can understand that it is a mammoth goal. I think I'm the fifth or sixth person to ever run across it. So it is a mammoth goal, but it didn't have to be a mammoth goal. It just needed to be something, and it just happened to be the Simpson.
How did you coming back to that then? How did you actually come across it? Did you just like Google hard run? Like, what did you? How did you like land on
Yeah.
that?
So I was at home, and that's the thing. I just come out of hospital. I wasn't working. At that stage, like I'd taken some time off work, and I was sitting on the couch, and I'm like, I'll just chuck a movie or something on. I chucked on a movie. I'm trying to remember the name of it now. I've gone blank. But it had Samantha Gash in it, who was a runner, and I then watched the movie, and I'm like, I'll do some research about Samantha Gash. Researched her, and she'd ran across the Simpson Desert in 2012. At the time, was the last person to cross it, and I'm like, stuff it, that's it. I'm like, I read that she'd ran across it, and I was researching the Simpson, and I'm like, that's it. I
That's
don't.
the one.
But something clicked, and I'm like, that's what I'm doing.
Crazy, man.
Initially,
Huge.
my plan was just to run across the Simpson Desert. I'm like, I'd seen the pain I caused my loved ones when I come out of hospital, and I'm like, I'm not putting them in that position ever again. I just need something that I can work towards. So initially, it was just a reason to wake up each morning, and then the 4 years, or the 2 years, sorry, then leading into the run, I've watched mates and those close to me lose people they love to suicide, and then I'm like, no, I've got to turn this into more than just something about me. I'm like, this is more than about me. So then that's when I turned it into a fundraiser with the goal to raise $100 for each K for for a mental health charity. And then that was a big reason why I started the Uncomfortable Challenge as well 2 years ago. Because the only thing that I ever found that helped me mentally, like I'd seen psychiatrists, psychologists, been medicated, been in hospital. I'd done all these things, but the only thing that I ever found that actually made me feel better was getting uncomfortable. So I created the Uncomfortable Challenge 2 years ago to help encourage Australians to get out there and chase their own uncomfortable. And then, have been fortunate enough, had a lot of people take part in that and help kickstart those important conversations.
There is really nothing like it, is there? Like doing the uncomfortable thing. It's hard to articulate, and I'm sure there's someone smarter than me could say it well,
Yeah,
but it definitely gives you a sense of purpose.
yeah, definitely. And I'm like, it is so hard to articulate. Like it makes sense in my brain, but to actually express, like you've nearly got to do it to understand it. But I suppose I'm gonna try my best to articulate it here. Give me a sec. Um,
Yeah, yeah. Heck, I'm looking forward to it.
I had from what happened 2 years ago, I had all these um, uncertainties about who I was. Like I couldn't look myself in the mirror. I'd been depressed, suicidal, felt weak, felt unworthy. Um, and then I knew that the only way to overcome those things was to face them and tackle them head on. So by then going out to the desert, doing it again, doing exactly what I said I was going to do, like it gets rid of all those things. So like
Mm.
I suppose like growing up I had like low self-esteem with my body and that sort of thing. The only thing that helped, go to the gym. Like by tackling your challenges head on and yeah, it's it makes so much sense, but to articulate it's tricky.
Yeah. Do you know,
Forward is
I've,
tackle your challenges head on.
I think as well, when you overcome something, whether it be like hard, like that you self-elect to do, or it happens to you, when you overcome it, there is a sense of like achievement, fulfillment, right? So I think when you choose to do something uncomfortable, because it's in your control, you're forcing yourself to overcome it, and there's that sense of fulfillment. And
Yeah,
I think that when you know you can do that, when things happen to you that are outside of your control, you feel more empowered to be able to overcome them. So I
yeah,
think,
yeah. Oh, spot on, spot on.
yeah. I mean, like, I was having some time to think about it when you were talking. So, but there's like, it is really hard. And I think it's just easier for people just to go out and do something. But it's a lot easier said than done when you're in the shitter and when you're feeling, you know, shit and depressed and you're
Yeah.
having all those things. It's so easy to be like, hey, just go do something uncomfortable. It's like, man, I didn't want to get out of fucking bed.
Yeah. So my uncomfortable challenges, like heading into the Simpson the first time, like I was doing an hour in the sauna. I was doing all these like things that would look challenging to, I suppose, most people. And then I think my first one, I can't even remember my first one back, but my first one back in comparison, I'm like, people will look at that and they'll be like, that's not challenging. But at that time, getting out of bed was a challenge. So I'm like, yeah, just little challenges. Like, it doesn't matter what they are. If they're uncomfortable for you, do it.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. It is definitely subjective. Like, I mean, I'm in this echo chamber now where all I see is people doing crazy things.
Yeah.
And then I forget, like, you know, for some people, going for a 5K is the hardest thing they'll ever do in their life.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the very first one I did was talking to a camera. I'm like, I just could not talk to a camera. Like, even now, it's definitely not my strong suit. But the first time, took me like 16 takes just to get more than 4 words in a row. Like,
Yeah, I mean, like, it means you're in the best position to now help other people though, because you've gone through it. So, I mean, like myself, I've never really struggled with mental health personally. So I feel like I'd never be able to show that and to help people that same way, you know? It definitely is something that you can empathize with more and more if you've been through it.
yeah, see. I've not seen it from your perspective, so I can't speak on that. But I think even like I'm not sure your personal story, but I think even watching those you love go through difficult situations, learning to understand it from that perspective, and how you can help support that person and get them through that difficult time they're going through, or be them for them. I think that's just as valuable. Like, I think it's important to know how to deal with difficult things yourself, and how to overcome challenging situations. But then I think it's equally important how to support people going through a dark time or going through a challenging situation. And then I think they're both just as important.
What'd you end up raising in the end? I didn't even ask.
Yeah, so it's still fundraising, still open at this stage. The plans to close it in September, but I've raised, I think, $30,500.
Oh, nice, man. That's good.
$100 for each case. So I haven't quite hit the target yet, but I'm definitely getting close. So
You're pretty close.
get there, I reckon, by the end of the month.
Oh, if anyone's listening to this, donate to the fucking page, would you? All right, man. We might wrap there. It's been great. Thanks for coming on.
That's all right. Thanks for having me, mate. Appreciate it. And appreciate you helping to support the cause as well.